very convenient to have an IEBC in place this time, because if you look at the politics at play currently, the two protagonists, or rather antagonists back then, are now together. Therefore, one would imagine it would be a very easy task to reconstitute the IEBC, because they seem to agree on a lot. But even the minority side, or the parties that represent the opposition, appear also not keen on this IEBC reconstitution, or rather the speedy reconstitution of the IEBC. Why do you think it is convenient for them?
The reason as to why this is probably convenient is because of the calls that we have seen from a majority of Kenyans seeking to impeach, or rather recall their elected leaders. And I think that this is also a matter that is either at the National Assembly or the Senate around the amendments to the, I think it's Article 104, the recall of members of those elected officials. Yeah, actually it's Article 104 of the Constitution. And so, because some of the provisions and timelines are also very stringent, and they're very hard hurdles for Kenyans. And so we are hoping that in the event that the ruling is favorable to Kenyans, then the timelines for reconstitution would be much more harder. I mean, the reconstitution of the IEBC would be much more harder, because therefore the politicians will say, if we give them power to recall us, then almost all of us will be recalled. Because as things stand, Kenyans already gave a vote of no confidence to the legislature, because they invaded parliament, they sent them away, and really parliament was is almost of no value to a majority of Kenyans. And so the opportunity for elected members, in my view, Fred, would be to reclaim the trust that they have first lost among Kenyans. And part of that is to imagine you are doing the right thing. Of course, in their mind, in their rightful minds, I know that they're imagining that they are doing the right things, but at least let people see part of the right things that you are doing. For example, reconstitute the IEBC. Despite many court battles again, now we know that the selection panel has been going on to do its work. They've been given more time to be able to continue to do their work, but you want to see certain ends to these processes. Give us names, at least gazette names of people who have applied. Give us a gazette notice of application.
We need to see movement.
We need to see movement. We don't. The talk is too much, and we are not seeing anything. But of course, the second thing is to also ask ourselves, how will the electorate regain that trust in the elected officials? And again, as we have said, move fast, and that needs to also be punctuated with communication. We have not seen our elected officials coming out there to be able to deliberately share what they are doing. Of course, during the impeachment public participation process, we saw them in different parts in some parts of the country, particularly in Nairobi, trying to explain what they are doing and what that meant. But they were doing it because of selfish interests. Can we also see them, coming out and meeting in town halls with the citizens and telling them, by the way, we don't have an IEBC because of 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the event that the IEBC has been, reconstituted and we are set to move, this is the trajectory that we want to take as a country. Otherwise, I think it is just too much talk and zero movement, zero show.
Yet indeed, parliamentarians in both houses have been very busy with impeachment of the deputy president, and now with even proposals to